check if I'm alive. Today is 2019, October 14th, Monday, 10 o'clock a.m. And yes, I'm alive. That is good. And today's topic is I don't know. So good morning, guys. Good morning, Bart. Bart is going. Bart is busy today. Good morning, DP. Good morning, Matt. And good morning, League of Noobs. And so, what is today's topics? Uh, and I'm going to get my tea. Okay, be right back in 1 minute.我讲课，我是过年下12点，12点，我讲课，我1小时多。So I'm back, and I have my tea. Now this is kind of like green tea or oolong tea or whatever, cheap tea bags. You see, there we have it, tea bags. Fantastic invention of modern society and technology. Imagine just put hot water and dip in the bag, and we have to look at the history of the tea. It's not no trivial task. You know how you make tea? You have to go to the mountains to cut the leaves. Then you have to dry them. Then you have to bake them. It's like rice. You guys know about rice. Like rice, you have these tiny pieces. Now, in Western countries, you don't eat rice in general. That's not your main how they call it, the main food. How they call that, staple. Yeah, that's not your staple. That's a word. Okay, so in Western society, what do you eat? The main carbohydrate is potato and bread. But in China, in Asia, it's rice. The rice, it comes in tiny pieces. And where do they come from? Well, they came from cereal, right? You have to. It's extremely labor intensive, and you can't possibly imagine how people make rice. Well, with technology, you have machines and so on, but if you don't have that, it's extremely labor intensive to make rice, and people, you have to do it. That's your food. Good morning, Fazing F. Fazing F. Where are you from? Did I ever discuss Bitcoin? Just a little bit. I don't really know much about Bitcoin. I think it's a inevitability. The question is not whether Bitcoin or cryptocurrency will succeed. It's a matter of time. Soon, because it's a new piece of technology. It will be at some point. It may be government sponsored or it may be otherwise. I think, in my opinion, it's gonna be almost universal because yes, that's what I think. Unless we are there's a few percentage of chance. If the world is very unfortunate, it becomes hyper dictatorship ruled by big corrupt government. Then we will not have it. But otherwise, I think some form of cryptocurrency is going to uh, uh, be the main currency sooner or later. maybe in 10 years, something like that. Noodles are staples everywhere. DP, you are from Germany, right? So, uh, so Fazin says, I'm living in Canada, born in Iran. Oh yeah, I remember. I remember. I asked you that. I remember that answer before. Okay. Uh, so we don't have a topic today, and okay, let's see what's the comments. Let me try. No, you don't know any topic. Okay, 4 minutes praise to social justice scan. praise praise to the Lord. News Lord of the Flies. That's one of my favorite book. Lord of the Flies. Fantastic by Golding. William Golding. Yes. Unfortunately, it's still copyrighted because I was thinking to put it on my website and make an annotation of it. Lord of the Flies, William Golding. I love this book. This is a novel because have you guys read it? Okay, comment. Okay, uh, Lord of the Flies. I read it like 2 or 3 times in different years since 1993 or something. And I like it because it shows a fundamental nature of human animals, Lord of the Flies. And in fact, today's USA's society, the social justice scan, we are in a situation that's pretty much like Lord of the Flies. That is when your country are lawless, almost lawless. So whoever is powerful, if I'm stronger, I can punch you, I can do whatever I want. That is the situation of the Lord of the Flies. Chaos. So Fazin says, what do you think of Sacha Chua? How was your interview with her? Did you watch it? So that was like 6 years ago. So I think she's a great person. She's a Filipino, I believe, by origin. Okay, I might be wrong. I think she's a Filipino origin, and she's a Canadian. So she's extremely energetic, and she is also a super nice person. That is her personality. She always, not just positive. I mean, yeah, she's a natural. Maybe I could say a natural positive person, as opposed to I'm putting this in contrast to many of these white social justice type of people. They are like superficially positive. For example, they want to chant like on Twitter. They every day they want to chant. Oh, we must say something positive. Oh, we must um, be positive. Things like that. That's the typical social justice white people. Anyway, so Sasha Chu, I think she's a great person, and she's always helping people out. And in fact, she has helped me about 6 years ago. I have financial problems, I was, so she actually uh, helped me financially too. That's besides the point. I mean, even if she didn't, I still think she's a great person. So that's my opinion about Sasha Chua. Now she's a girl, of course. She's a female. She's busy. She got married a few years ago, and she has a kid, and so she's now busy with her life. But still, she's a great emacs fan. She still, you know, create emacs newsletters like every day, or was it every week? You can see her on Twitter. She's a prolific blogger, uh, and she is also technical, but she doesn't show that much. If you are a guy, you show that because you need to show it. Otherwise, you don't get mates. She doesn't show that much, but I think she's also very technical. For example, she's a master of org mod. So if you like org mod, you can go read her blog. She has tons of stuff about org mod. Her entire emacs init file, she put it into a org mod format, so that you have, the part of the use of org mod is that you can embed, uh, like normally in your emacs init file, you have code. That's the main thing. Then you have comments. But if you can use org mod so that the comments, the human text is primary, while the code is embedded. You can use org mod for that. I have a tutorial. If you just go to my Emacs website, search for Xali Emacs org mod Babel, you'll find it. So anyway, she's an expert at org mod. So she has her entire Emacs init file in org mod format, and she has a lot of annotations. So you can learn a lot from it. So that is my opinion about her. So I wish she would. So she used to, like 5 years ago or so, she used to do Emacs interview of people with famous Emacs people. Um, so 5 years ago, like things changed. A lot of things changed. Now today YouTube is even more common. But even 6 years ago, it's less common than today. I mean, it's still very common. So she's one of the pioneer who, I would say, who began to lead people, technical nerds like, hackers, Emacs users, to begin to show their face, because she started to interview well-known kind of yeah, she started to interview Emacs people. If you read Emacs, if you are in Emacs community, there are some people, very well known because they have written packages or something like that. So she interviewed people. So I watched several. I mean, 6 7 years ago, I watched almost. I would say, yeah, probably like five or so of her interview. I think that's what she did. So you started to see Emacs users, people's face. She also interviews any. You do not need to be famous or popular to. She just like to interview. She wants. Her intention is that, so she introduced Emacs users to the people. Any Emacs users. Yeah, but now she's busy. I wish she would come back to YouTube, doing YouTube stuff. Okay, so that's about that. Come back it for sure. Yeah. So what else? So people has been asking me to do softlight keys. I can do that. So this week, the schedule for this week, I'm not sure. Because for the past week we have not been doing much technical stuff like programming, and I like to get back to that. But usually live sessions, chat, anything goes. Good morning, Green Deck. So I don't know what's the plan. I don't I don't have a plan. Maybe I'll do a separate video every day on technical topics on like softlight keys, and oh yeah. So people, softlight keys. Let me start command log. Start command log. Okay, so you can see all my commands on the left window. And softlight keys is my most popular package. Um, and also there are a lot of people who ask me to do emacs, writing I think was it you, League of Noobs, about, or was it you, Matt, or someone else, about doing more tutorials on how to write a major mod. But they don't have like I think it's hard to come up with a specific question. They just want me to talk about it. So yeah, I can do that. Um, yeah, because I can just start talking about that because once you start talking, then I'll have a lot things to say like opinions, tutorials. For example, you see this for example, okay, we are almost beginning. Like every time you start to talking about something, then we start to talk. For example, you see when I move my mouse to these commands, you see the emacs inline doc, the string documentation comes up. Now that is done by, and you can also move it to the code. For example, you can move to any code, define derived mod. Okay, then it pops up the documentation. You move the mouse to set local, it pops up the documentation. And this is of course written in JavaScript. You need to do that. I mean, of course, because you need to use JavaScript for that. So if we open the file, you see here is the JavaScript. So we open the JavaScript, magnify. So you see you have this eList data. Okay, actually this I should not use let. It should be constant. Actually, we can edit it right away. So, okay, we can edit it. No, let's not. So anyway, so here is the data part. If you go all the way down, after 2,880 lines, so we have 200, 2,000. I mean, okay, 2,880 emac list functions documentation. Then after that, you have the code. This is JavaScript. So that is why I'm doing JavaScript. I'm learning, digging into JavaScript technology in detail because I do websites. That's why this is important to me. And this pop-up is also very interesting because how is it possible to have a pop-up? So who any of you do JavaScript? Any one of you are coding JavaScript? So the pop-up technology is very interesting because we had that since early 2000s. Let's say 2003, and back then it was a not popular. People don't know how to do it. But anyway, so if you go to my JavaScript tutorial, you go to JavaScript in depth, then you go to DOM section. In order to do pop-up, you need the DOM. Basically, anything you do on the website using JavaScript is actually the DOM. Like 80% of your code is about understanding DOM, not JavaScript, because JavaScript is just well, yeah. JavaScript is a language that allows you can print a list of numbers, you can sort array, you can print, you can write a program to print prime numbers under 1000, things like that. But if you want to do anything actual useful like a web application, 80% of it is about DOM, about your understanding of DOM. And that's basically all these libraries such as React stuff are. Yes, we need to get into React. Anyway, so about pop-ups. So you go to my DOM tutorial, and near the bottom of the index, you'll see uh, WebSocket. WebSocket. Okay, web scripting example. Pop-up new window. Image rollover. Digital clock. Stopwatch. Box following scroll. Falling snow effect. where is the document, right? Didn't pop up new window image rover. So somewhere here, there it is. How to create tooltips. So this tutorial shows you how to have this pop up. In fact, when you have this pop up, the content of the pop up is HTML. It's a HTML snippet. So you could have images and anything. You could have images, video, animation, anything. So this, the thing interest. So this is how you do pop up. It's only 50 lines, but actually to understand, to know how to do this took me years to eventually, actually 15 years. I don't know how it is done. It's always a puzzle to me because JavaScript on the web, like this is not a typical desktop library like GNOME GTK or how they call that, GTK or GK something. Microsoft, you have Microsoft things. On Apple, you have Apple's things. A library that allows you to create desktop applications. But JavaScript is not like that. But how do you? They don't really have like widgets that do pop up. So what you do is that. So the way it is done is actually by creating using CSS to create layers. So you have a layer. Then when you create an event, so that when mouse hover over this thing, then that layer becomes visible. That is basically how you do it. Can you provide a link? Yeah, but yeah, of course. But usually you just go to my. Okay, so here's a link. What is that? Oh, whose link? Oh, I forgot whose link you're talking about. But anyway, um, so let's copy that, close that, close that, close that. Emacs tooltips, JavaScript in depth. Let's go back to create a new window. Go back to talk show, today's talk show, and post the JavaScript tooltip. Okay, then post comments. Okay, so close that. Blog emacs, close that. Talk show. Okay, that's today. Close that. Close that. Reopen last closed. Okay, so show in browser. Another new window. I don't want new window. I mean, yeah, I want the tab. Yeah, I don't want new window. So anyway, how to create tooltips. Okay, that's one thing. Close that. So Emacs, I have tooltips, and Emacs major mod. How to write a major mod. So that. So we I think I don't know when we're gonna talk. So I don't have a schedule. I don't know what to do yet. Use prototype JS together with Ruby on Rails. Later jQuery, mostly Bayer JS though. Okay, so let's read the comments then. So Matt says, but seriously, did you make up your mind about the schedule and splitting the content into talk and programming technical stuff? Yeah, good question. What should I do? So 10 o'clock. I also need to switch my schedule time a little bit. Maybe on one hand, 10 o'clock is a good time for a lot of people, for people in Europe and for American people in America. But it's not a good time for people in China, Taiwan, Japan, Australia. Because right now it's 3 o'clock in the morning for them. So I need to do something about that. Either change the time or create another YouTube stream, live stream at another time. So we have two a day. Or instead of a second live stream, I will just do technical talk and upload to YouTube. So what am I going to do? Yeah, I don't know. So you guys donate, okay? Put money in my pocket. Like go to PayPal. Buy my emacs tutorial. There's a link right here. Buy my JavaScript tutorial, or go to any one of my website. Go to the top. You gonna see PayPal, Patreon, Bitcoin links, and Amazon uh, gift card links. So like if I get more money out, then I can do better because right now I'm not getting much money for these. So like so if I'm gonna do more technical, spend more time, it's like no money, and it's just me doing stuff, and then you get like 50 50 people watching my videos per video. That's that's going nowhere. That's pretty bad. Well, but that's the nature of me. That's basically what I have been doing for the past 20 years, and that's kind of the nature of me, because I don't do things to in a direction of money. Because if I really, if that is my goal with my YouTube, then there are a lot of things I will do differently. For example, stop. First of all, stop the live stream. 90 minutes per day. That's killing me. Instead, do like 15 minutes video. And focused on technical topics, Emacs, JavaScript, or if I want to do politics, go focus stuff on, for example, anti-social justice. I give my opinions about daily happenings about the social justice or politics, my commentary, something like that. Then I can see that I'll start to have uh, viewers. One of the things that people, so why won't I do that? Why don't I do that? For example, why don't I just started to do focused Emacs tutorials? Or because I feel it's not um it's kind of those people doing that. I mean, if you're doing that, that's great. But it's not okay. Matt says don't underestimate the time spent into putting together a 15-minute video. Yeah, that's true. Some of the very popular YouTubers with millions of followers, they spend, some of them, not all. Yeah, each person, YouTubers, they have different style, different strategy. But for example, the GP, there's a guy very popular, few million followers, GP Gray something. What's his name? Anyone remember? GP, three-letter abbreviation. That's how he's known by. GP Gray, Gray something. GP, not GPL, but type it. Anyone remember? But that guy, CGP Gray. Yeah, that guy. So one time I watched one of his video. Anyway, I've watched quite a lot of his videos, like tens of them over the past several years, 5 or 10 years. His video is very short, like 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes at tops, at least back then, and very extremely condensed. Like often I have to pause. I have to pause every every 10 seconds, to really sometimes to get what he's saying, and sometimes I have to think about what he's saying because he's extremely condensed, 5 minutes per video. But however, one day he talked about how long does it take to make one video. It's like 20 hours, 40 hours to make one video. So that's so that's his style, and that's one of the good way to create a video. The thing about making videos, same thing with blog, and same thing with Twitter, social networks, Twitter, Facebook, things like that. If you want to be popular, it's so there are, because I write websites for 20 years, so I'm very familiar with the SEO thing. Like SEO stands for search engine optimization. You want your website to become popular in Google search engine. SEO is kind of dead for like 5 years. Today, you don't hear people talk about that much anymore. But basically, the gist still exists. The gist is about marketing. How do if you are a so-called content creator, may it be YouTube or writing, blogging, may it be technical physics, math, teaching, programming, or random chat, political commentary, stuff like that. You see, so there's a question: how do you do it? Like, what time should you post? There's so many questions, things like that. So one of the question is: should you post, create content frequently, like every few, 2 times a day, every day, or uh, well, I'll just get to the bottom of it. You should. So what you really want to do is it's much better. You want to spend your time to create one video or one blog. Okay, just one. Maybe it'll take you 1 month to do it. That's fine. Create one and make that one go viral. Make that one, just create one. Make that one go like few thousand views or whatever is your goal, million or whatever. Like go viral. Make it go very popular. You want to make one for it to be popular. Now, so that's actually, I mean, that is tried and true theory. That is what you want to do. Okay, but however, that's not my style, and that's not my style. That's not me, because yeah, podcast is actually like the opposite extreme. Podcast or daily, radio talk show. Yeah, talk show is actually the opposite extreme. So like me, talk show, and many other talk shows, Howard Stern, he's popular talk show jockey, and many others. Joe Rogan, for example. Well, Joe Rogan, he does interviews, so that's another way to make yourself very popular. Because you see me talking every day, you get tired. Same old Sali, same opinion. After a while, after a month, you know what I'm thinking. You know my style. You want something fresh. So what another way to become popular is you do interviews. So for example, me, if popularity or money is my goal, I would have to start to get my machine fixed so that I can interview people. For example, Sasha. Hey, Sasha, now it's a time for me to interview you. And then people want to watch it because Sasha, they are here to watch Sasha, or many other emacs people. There are so many of them. Or maybe I'll interview the JavaScript creator Brendan Ikes. So I had an issue with him, but yesterday he kind of apologized, 2 days ago on Twitter. So I feel good about that because I talked about this. There's a video I did a month or two ago about, we had some kind of argument, and that pissed me off on Twitter. But but yesterday he said nice things. So anyway, so for example, another way to become popular is you interview people. So that is what Joe Rogan is doing. Joe Rogan is kind of this idiot. Okay, I don't really like him at all because he's truly idiot. You know he every time he interviews a lot of people almost every day. Politicians, famous people in entertainment, in all walk of life almost. So that's interesting because you will find someone interesting you want to watch. For example, Jordan Peterson, he interviewed hundreds of people. So by now, so a lot of people you find interesting, so you go watch his show, and he makes money. Not I don't think the interviewee get paid. Do they get paid? Uh, I don't think they get paid, right? Or do they? Maybe some. But my point is that you see when you do interview like that, he makes a lot of money. This once you have 1 million followers, you make a lot of money. Something like 1 million a year or more. So yeah, another way. So let me summarize. So I know quite a lot about these marketing things because part of the reason is because I'm very interested in marketing, persuasion, cult leaders, cult leadership, propaganda, this kind of all these related things, techniques, human psychology, things like that. So, and also because I'm doing websites for the past 20 years, so the SEO or how to become popular, that also interests me, practically speaking, and so the few, some of the aspects about popularity is that you want to focus, take your time to make one post, one content, one YouTube video that make that one extremely popular, like go viral, instead of posting mediocre, things every day. Instead of that like you know like what I'm doing, like my blogs, like little opinions every day. So you want to do that, focus on creating one few great content. But however, that's just one of the style. On the other hand, on the other extreme, you have this talk show or podcast. They do, they talk every day at the same time. That is also another way to get you popular in a totally entirely different style, because with the talk show way, you get people into a habit to watch you every day, especially if I started to talk about current events. That is that is one easy way to make yourself popular. Because people want to know current events, like today's news, whatever. Today, oh, something happened, or what's your opinion about this or that. Every day there's new things, right? Or what's latest movie Joker. You know, Joker becomes a controversy, so a lot of people wants to know what's going on. Or so I could, for example, I can tell, I can start it to do current events every day, either with my own opinions or without. Without opinions, then I just talk about what's happening, what people think. I spend a few hours to read about all the articles, and I give you a summary. What's people are doing, what's the mainstream news websites are saying about this movie, or I can add my own comments, my own opinions about this movie, and I go watch the movie. So anyway, so that's another. So the talk show, daily talk show is another way, and that's kind of what I have been doing. That's kind of more natural for me. One reason I want to say, one reason I don't follow this, I don't follow this, create something, very condensed and go viral. I don't like that because just because of my own style. Okay, that's not natural. Okay, that's not natural. That is a extreme form of kind of marketing derived situation. Like capitalism. The marketing derived style. Without the capitalism, consumerism, where everyone is so every person becomes the dumb consumer. Back then, back in 1990s, the idea of consumer is very popular. Today it's kind of gone away. But the idea is that everyone becomes numb. Everyone would just watch TV. They just, you are lazy. You become brainless. Basically, you just watch TV, whatever is, just switch channels. But TV is dead. But instead, you have social media and Twitter. It's kind of even worse in some way. I'm not sure which one is worse. But internet, when internet began, it's supposed to be the consumer. What content you see is supposed to be your own choice. Hyperlinks. When it began. But anyway, it kind of all of that is kind of rotted out today. So today people just look at their phones, addicted to their phones. Twitter, Facebook. Follow whatever just come to them instead of being active, digesting. Choose what you see. So anyway, so the reason I'm not into creating condensed content is that because that's not me, because I think that kind of style is a product of consumerism. Because when you do that, because most people today, we are thinking everyone is so busy, you don't have time, you just want to watch something condensed. Like everyone don't have time anymore. Even the technology, it's a slap in our face. We have tremendous technology progress, but people becomes ever more busy. You become very busy. You have to work 40 hours a day. All this happens. It's not what it's supposed to be. Technology, we supposed by today, technology is so great. We supposed to like relax. Work 30 hours a day or less, things like that. But it's not happening. It actually somewhat becomes worse. You are busy. You have so busy doing every time you see like today's blog, you go there on top, you'll say 3 minutes reading, 5 minutes reading. It has to tell you how many minutes of reading this is supposed to be. you know how extremely idiotic could that possibly be? So anyway, back to, I want to let me finish my thought. So the condensed way style of creating content is a byproduct of consumerism. Okay, it is not natural. So I would prefer the kind of the talk show style, because you know this is more natural. Because if you think about 200 years of human history, or 3,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 years of human history, the tradition of teaching is by daily life. You talk to your children, your kids, or your neighbors, your tribe. You teach them. You're gonna be dead sooner or later, so you talk and teach them oral tradition. That is more natural. And when you do that, you don't like prepare condensed, and you prepare 40 hours to condense it into 5 minutes. Then you try to talk in these 5 minutes everything. That's unnatural. Okay, that's not natural. And also, when you, in the traditional human manner, you don't focus your talks to just emacs, nothing else. Okay, this video is just about emacs, how to use emacs. as if nothing else exists. JavaScript, programming culture, programmers culture, and politics involves in licensing. This is if you are a programmer, this is issues you touch every day. But when you have a video that's so focused, like emacs, this is just emacs. That's kind of unnatural. So so that is my kind of my style. That is why I prefer the talk show, and do it every day, and not focus on one thing. Whatever things I know, I talk about my experiences. Emacs is not natural. Okay, so so I think that basically finished that topic. I mean, that's what I want to say um, about about YouTube. Yeah, about what about yeah, how many hours you put into making a video, things like that. So yeah. Okay, I've talked for 40 minutes, 50 minutes, 7 people watching. Anything else? Uh, so let me read the comments. So about my schedule, I'm not sure yet. Okay, so why don't we? So you go to YouTube, Sali. So Sali, there it is. Okay, let's actually go to my stream. Go to my channel. You go to my channel and you'll see I'll post my community. I think I'll post the schedule for this week in the community section. Maybe I'll do it today. So okay, so go there, check, then you'll see my schedule for this week, what I decided to do. Uh, yeah, and I'll post to Discord too. Um, King Herring. When I'm doing a video, I cannot read stuff in detail, like Doug Crawford style, ECMAScript Doug Crawford style. Have you heard about the JavaScript 1K challenge? No? What is that? It's about writing clever JavaScript demos in 1K code or less. Okay, I don't like those things. That's like golf and obfuscation, things like that. I hated those things. I despise those things. JavaScript demos in 1K. Oh, I think I have seen that site. They have a lot amazing things, I think. Uh, the JavaScript code golfing competition. Yeah, I truly hate the golfing concept. Because the essence of the code golfing is about hack. It's about abusing the language to the extreme. That is the bottom line. And also, part of it, because part of it is about knowing the language very very well. You find all kind of loopholes. You find always, basically, when we program, we teach college students, or in a company. Our goal is that we always try to write the most readable, the most elegant, the most efficient code. The code that's also the readable, efficient, and also extensible. So that modular. That's what we want. On the other hand, code golfing is the extreme opposite. You want the red code that's the least readable, the least modular, the least everything. This fuck the code golfing. Where does this came from? This came from, okay, excuse my Unix philosophy rant. It's coming up. Okay, I'm running warning you first. Where does this came from? This came from the Unix philosophy, the C fuckheads, the C programmer fuckheads. It is the C language that began with this kind of thing. That is why I constantly say, the Unix philosophy and the Unix C bootstrapping each other. That is the everything that's wrong in computing industry began with the Unix philosophy and C. Okay, that is why my opinion about that. Uh, yes, I pay $80 a month, and I only have like, yeah, it's well known that in USA the internet is very bad. It's well known. In Korea, I think Korea is the best country for internet, the fastest. Everyone is high bandwidth. Korea, Japan, um, or better. I don't know about Germany. I think it's better in Europe. I think too, and also you can use your phone to buy things like that. In USA, it's not so good. So my internet speed. So let's look at Xali internet speed. So I did a study about the growth of internet speed over time. So this article, how fast does internet speed grow? Okay, hold on a second. There's another article interesting. So, how fast does internet speed grow? And the other article is USA internet speed map. Okay, so let's look at that. So, this is a USA internet speed map. Anyway, so my speed is about anyway, this map is not so good. So let's go back to my so internet speed basically grows exponentially, pretty much like CPU and hard disk space. So you have a table here from 1990s. So in 1990 you have 1.2 kilobits per second. And in 2000 you have 69 kilobits per second. So in 2010 you have 3,000, basically 4,000 kilobits per second. So basically it grows. The formula is speed times 1.5 raised to n, where n is the number of years. Okay, starting with 1990s, it's 1.2 kilobits per second. But anyway, so this is the theoretical numbers, but I also calculated, my actual speed from 1991 to 2017, and today I pretty much have the same speed, which is about 26 megabits per second. So, so you can actually test it today. You go to Google. This is my speed, 28 megabits per second. So let's go to Google, and it's like, I think it's $60. I mean, in total, it's $70 or $80 a month. It's pretty bad. So La Casa pays $75 for 20 megabits down. Oh, okay. So, but you are in where? Peru, right? You are in Latin America. I think maybe it's not so good there. So you go to Google, you type my internet speed. Okay, then it'll give you your test. Let's try it. Okay, so you have to actually to turn on JavaScript. Wait, let's go. So I'm going to stop talking because because I'm live streaming. Maybe that will. So let's do it. Okay, it says 40 megabits per second. It's half of my usual speed because I guess because I'm doing live video. But normally, yeah, it's 28, and it's been like that for the past 10 years. Hold on a second. So energy drink necessary. So DP, how much do you pay a month, and what is your speed? You know about the code golf. The code golf is such that, yeah. So I don't like it, right? But so it's just no good. It's a competition about who knows. It's kind of like the competition about who knows the most worthless thing. Almost like that. It encourages bad language design. First of all, if you have a good language, okay, the better the language, the less code golf you can do with it. Because that's the goal of a language. You want to you want to invent a language such that writing bad code is impossible. There's no hack, there's no loopholes, things like that. I mean, that's the ideal situation when you create a language. I mean, theoretically, that goal is kind of impossible. But anyway, it is impossible to create a language it is impossible to write bad code. Even mathematically, because it's. But anyway, but the goal of creating a language is that you want to, so that there is no abuse, no holes, no bad errors, no incomprehensible uh, syntax, things like that. So the coding golf is actually, it encourages everything like the opposite of that. So the coding golf, when people competing coding golf, it's what they are doing is that the people who love this kind of thing are people who, it's basically a show off. It's a show off about your tenacity and your tenacity with digging, hacking a programming language, basically. And also, it requires you to know the language. It requires you to know the language in depth. However, not for the good aspect of the language in depth, such as how to use esoteric functional programming in JavaScript. That's not the direction you go. But rather, if you do code golfing competition with JavaScript, the aspect you dive into is about all the esoteric things you don't really. It's almost like useless. You don't want to. Almost like you don't want to know those kind of things. You don't. That's what code golfing is about, and it's somewhat related to hacking. Hacking as in malware, creating malware, how to abuse the language, things like that. Okay, so that's code golfing. It's the worst shit in the industry. But however, I mean it. But on the other hand, look at if we take a different perspective, this exists in society. Society, you have lots of things. You have for example, you have gangsters. You like it or not, gangsters exist, mafia exist, underground society, subculture, bad things exist. Code golfing. So code golfing is one of the things that exist, and it's not exactly criminal. So I mean, it's just something people do. For example, you also have competitions about who can drink the most water within 1 hour. That you have record for that. Who can, a couple, you can kiss, a guy and a girl kiss. Who can have the longest marathon kissing? You kiss, without eating or sleeping for 2 days. This is kind of sick. You don't really want to promote that, but those things exist. It's part of human society. Those exist. So, as when it comes to goat golfing, well, it just exists. And okay, so but yeah, and some of them, you look at them, it's very interesting. They do. It's like surprising. Oh my God, you can do that. It's kind of surprising. So let's look at 2014 Dragons price. So how much are they paying? Where's the code? God, show the code. Demos. Okay. Okay, let's see this one. So am I supposed to play this? Am I supposed to? Arrow keys doesn't work. Ah, run away from dragon and avoid the missing parts of the footbridge. Use A and D to move. Okay, idiotic fuck. A and D. A and D. Oh, okay. Uh, what? Ooh. Okay, it's stupid. That's it. Pretty boring. This one, okay, this one is not so great. But I've seen some amazing things. So in general, I'm not into that's a dead end. How can that be? You're supposed to always have a way to survive, right? This is a bad one. This is a bad application. Dragons. Uh, it's a form of art. Well, yeah, it's like yeah, I guess you can say that. Some arts you don't like. For example, today you have there's a sub branch kind of art. They splash paint onto the wall and they call it art. You piss into a wall, and the piss, the way that they drip, it's art. You have a toilet, you put it in a museum, that's art. So it's not art to me. So anyway, that's about that. So maybe that's it for today. What else? Let's see how long we've been talking. An hour, okay. So DP says I pay 25 euros a month for theoretical 50 megabits per second. Wow. But I hardly ever reach it. Usually 30 to 35 megabits. Okay. So 25 euro a month. So how much is that in USD? 25 euro to USD. It's like $40 USD, maybe. Wait, you need to go to, okay. Oh, 27. Oh, Europe went down. Euro went down. So it's only, wow, so that's pretty cheap. Well, yeah, so DP says some art provocates the dialogue. For example, I could have done that, yeah, but you didn't. But yeah, a lot of people, I don't like that. Like there's this very famous graffiti artist, very popular, especially, yeah, I guess among some of the hacker types, very popular graffiti artists. I hate those things. Like they anyway. Like what do you mean provocative? Like, okay, here's the thing about art. Art like poetry and math art is one of the things that's dramatic. Okay, people talk about that out of proportions, dramatic art. And I did a video a few days ago talking about math, how math is dramatic. Anyway, art. So art is this dramatic thing. So oftentimes you can create. Okay. So yeah, it's true. Art is art. Part of the goal or purpose of art is to provoke thought, or yeah, that's some part of the purpose of art is that. But however, it has also become, it's kind of abused, so it becomes somewhat like, suppose if you are someone, you don't have any talent, not nothing at all, no skill, you didn't take any time to learn painting or anything, like you are nothing, you don't have any skill, your skill is very bad, right? So if you are that guy, but however you are a corrupt, you are just a guy, you want to become rich and famous, so you are abusive, you are willing to do anything possible to make yourself famous. And one one conduit to that is art, via art. So there are quite a few famous so-called artists, they are doing that. It becomes abusive. So like you just piss on a wall and you say it's art. And how what is the method that makes you popular? By emphasizing that art is the conduit to provoke thinking. That is your rational. That's a method. That's a mechanism. You promote yourself. Even you don't know nothing about history. You don't know nothing about philosophy. You don't know nothing. You don't know how to paint. You don't know how to sculpt. You don't know nothing. But however, you are this kind of political type mindset. You just want to make yourself popular and ahead. So you abuse, you just create garbage. For example, I smash my keyboard. I take my keyboard. So I got this keyboard and I just smash it. I make a video and I smash it in a particular way. Maybe the corner first. Smash it. First I try to smash it against a spoon, for example, against a pillow. Then I smash it against the concrete. For example, that's one way to do it. Okay, so I make a video of that. I try to make it viral. Just smash things. Okay, then I say, I say, okay, this represent, a certain political idea where when you smash things against a pillow, it doesn't break because something something. But when you smash against the concrete, it breaks because something something. Then I try to connect it with politics. Well, like I try to connect it with, let's say, capitalism. Therefore, for example, today, right, there's lots of riot. Antifa, Hong Kong, So I create this video, I smash it. So I try to sell it to them. I tell them, this is how, sometimes violence works. I can do that. Then oh my God, Kasadi is a great artist. He provoke people's thoughts. That's what I think about those kind of things. This is an idiot, okay, criminal. Uh, yeah. So yeah, art is not the way. Yeah, that's right. That's right. There are some exceptions to that. There's some exception. For example, there's this graffiti artist. That I despise that guy. There are quite a few actually. Not it's true in general. You won't make money in art, but there are quite a few this kind of type of people. They become very famous, and they have Wikipedia entry about how they what is TechLead? Okay, I think it's a UK graffiti artist. He's got a name. Banksy. Yeah, that's right. Banksy. I despise that fuckhead. Banksy. Let's just search for Banksy. Okay. Now he's supposed to be this artist that's provocative, and very popular among especially these anarchy or hacker types of kind of uh, you know so he put this graffiti, and he make it he just do these like there's a little real skill. He just for example, this French painting, did he paint that? No, it's not him. He just take the right opportunity, the right political opportunity when there are a lot angst among people. So when they see this, oh, this is great art. How dare he's truly a courageous person who do this on wars and stuff. The fucking idiot, this guy. And recently, about 2 years ago, or last year, I think he did this. Okay, so it's a painting or something. So it's auction in UK. Then during the auction, once it's sold, there is a machine shredder that shredded the artwork. Then, oh, everyone is talking about it. This is exactly the kind of thing I'm talking about. You see, so he create this art. Okay, is this a great painting? Does this require the mastery of imagination? No, it doesn't really. Okay. Anyway, so he created this, and it's trying auction. Okay, auction it, and it's sold for, I don't know, millions or something, big money. Then after it's sold, he created machine, a shredder embedded in the frame. It's so he pressed a remote button, it shreds the artwork. So how do you what do you think about that? This I think, what I think this guy is a scum. Because when he does that, it creates it makes him famous, because, oh my god, this is crazy, oh my god, every website reports it. Then people say, they started to think, oh, this guy is a philosopher. Oh my god, this guy is a philosopher because he provokes people's thought. Well, and then people start to maybe make connections with philosophy or politics. Oh, this means, this signifies something something something, consumerism or something. Then you have a bunch of hacker idiots, like programmers and anarchy type of people. Most people, vast majority of people in society are not that smart. Okay, they don't know history, they don't know art history, they don't know nothing. But then when they see this, oh, this guy created, shredding the thing during auction, it's fantastic, it's something it's never done before. It's nothing. It's nothing. It is just this guy trying to make himself famous. That is all. There it is. And the way, and also his artwork, it's ugly. It's ugly. There's no beauty involved. Like there's also another famous artwork, urinal. Uh, urinal. How do you spell that? Art. Okay, something like that. Yeah, that thing. This is like supposedly postmodern art. You put this in a museum, in an art exhibition. It's supposed to be art. So why did these kind of things become popular? Because I think part of the reason, so anyway, this type of artwork, postmodern, part of, this kind of thing, they become popular because um, it has to do with society. People becomes, modern people, modern society, each person becomes independent. We don't care about each other. Like, I don't really have to care about you guys. You guys don't really care about me. You like my video, right? But tomorrow, if I disappear, nothing happens. As opposed to 100 years ago, you depend on your neighbors to survive. You depend on, you have to know people. That's why you care. But modern society, each person becomes independent. So I don't really have to care about any of you. You don't care about me. Things like that, applies across. You don't care about anyone else. Almost basically, you don't care about your neighbors. In fact, the more city, the more money you make. If you are a programmer or if you live in city, you don't even know who is your neighbors, like next door. You don't even know who they are, what they do. You don't even know most. So that's modern society, and we as human animals, we become more lonely. We don't have, we need the, we don't have the touch with other people. Then you have the social justice. Then you have the gamers, just playing games every day, memes. Then people become sad, and then you started to have these kind of things. It's a phenomenon of the years of society, I would say. So that is my opinion. I think that's it for today. Okay, I think okay. So 1 hour 40 minutes. So let's read the comments. Don't smash your keyboard. Is there a tech league? So what is tech league? Tech lead. Tech lead. So you mean a general? I mean, is there a special meaning to the word tech lead? Oh, so he's a guy. His video always pop up. I don't know who is he. Let's see. Oh, the Chinese guy. Oh, the Google guy. Well, what can I say about him? I've seen a few of his videos. Uh, I guess he's just a smart guy. Yeah. So I've watched a few of his videos, and So what is my comment about him? I guess he's just a smart guy. He's Asian. He worked at Google. Uh, and he just created a video. He talks about his experience, and he's also, I mean, he's a smart guy for sure, because he's fairly successful YouTuber. You have to gather your thoughts, to create a good video. And also for example, he must be someone who is capable of knowing what people want to see. Because, for example, a lot of his topics, a lot of people wants to get into Google, right? Because Google is this very big corporation, and people heard, it's very well known for, oh, Google pays you a lot, and how you have free food with chef, in Google, inside Google, and all that good things. So he makes a video catching on that thing, so it become popular. And also getting into Google is not easy. So he's a smart guy, obviously. And I watched few of his videos. I think he's also pretty honest. He's not someone, just bullshit. Yeah. So that is my opinion about him. He makes, each YouTube video. Basically, if you have 1,000 views, you make $2 to $4. So for example, let's pick one of his. For example, this one. I got fired from Facebook having a YouTube. That's a clickbait. So let's look at this one. Let's hold on a second. Let's stop. I got fired from Facebook for having a YouTube channel. Okay, that's kind of clickbait, but maybe it's true actually. So it's got 53,000 views. Oh no, wait, it's got almost a million views. 895,000 views. So 895 you multiply by 3, so you got about $1,800. Yeah, so wait, 9 times 3, $2,700. So 2,700. You get about if you multiply by 3 or 4. So if we multiply by 4, you got $3,200. $3,200 just for this video. So he's a smart guy, so he does that. So smart as salesman or really smart? I think both. After all, he's a coder at Facebook and Google. He's fairly above average, I would say. Uh, so I feel like he's faking it. Maybe you are right. I watched a few of his videos. I think he's pretty okay. Okay, so coding channel, gotta look at. It's not coding. It's not really coding. He doesn't. I don't think he actually do coding. He just talk about the social issues, like how to get into Google. How to do Google interviews. Oh, I got fired from Google. I got fired from Facebook. That's drama. Things people want to watch. That's kind of thing. For example, if I'm gonna do something like that, I'm gonna create a video why you should not use emacs. Okay, a lot of people will click on that. Why you should not use emacs, or something like that. Why you should not use JavaScript. Then I have to prepare. I need to do a good video. I need to like dress up. Something. Like I have to not just random. Like right now, I'm just random every day. What I have, wake up, whatever. My bed. You have to do a presentation. You have to like do those things. And so to me, those are fake. I don't. I mean, it's not exactly fake, but you have to. It's about creating a product. It's kind of fake. You have to prepare things like that. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Yep, I'm gonna shut down in 1 minute. Okay, last words posted. So DP says the self-shredding painting has been an instant classic. I respect the nifty and twisted connotations all around it. Yeah, that's interesting. Oh yeah, so he's got close to a million. Oh yeah, 570,000 subscribers. Yeah, I saw his video on 4chan. I'm surprised people use 4chan. I didn't know, and some of you guys too. So I didn't. I'm surprised people actually go to 4chan because I always. Sometimes in the past years, even 10 years ago, sometimes I see my name mentioned there. And usually on 4chan, you have tech, /r tech or something. And usually it's like in Lisp, they're talking about Lisp, so I see my name mentioned. I was thinking, who go there? Who goes to 4chan and talk about programming stuff? Like, I cannot imagine. But apparently people do go there. So what you guys go there? I mean, you go there. 4chan is like you are anonymous. You go there, you post whatever, and more than like 90% of the post is like pure bullshit. They call it shit posting. And but okay, shit posting. But you go there to talk about programming stuff. like 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 sometimes they will mention like typically the topic will be like Lisp Haskell, these kind of dramatic things, Lisp Marcos, Haskell monad, scheme tail recursion, the core CC, this fancy jargon kind of thing. And but you go there anonymous, and after a day your post will be gone. But you go there, then what is the point? I mean, you don't learn things there, right? I mean, I can understand it's shit posting, but programming topics, like what do you get out of it? Yeah, fucking toilet. The banksy guy, fucking toilet. There's tremendous interesting thing going on, in society. So this Banksy, I looked into Wikipedia. I read I read a account what this guy is about, where he came from, who is he, so it doesn't interest me. This type of people I kind of despise. But anyways, he's supposed to be anonymous. But however, people think he's anonymous. But however, these kind of things, especially when you become this popular, it is actually impossible to be anonymous. Okay, so but on the internet, you say it's anonymous. Actually, it's not. I'm pretty sure a ton of people know him. So the anonymity is kind of like it become part of the way to become even more popular. People try not to say who he is. Not really anonymous. When you become this popular, it's impossible to be anonymous. Um, yeah. Okay. So that's it for today. So let's see internet speed. Thank you guys for watching. See you, and go to YouTube. Okay, go to so today or tomorrow. Today or tomorrow I'll post my decision on my schedule, like what time and things like that. The Lord of the Flies. By the way, that phrase came from the Bible. What I didn't know until much later. The Lord of the Flies. Lord of the Flies basically refers to Bismillah, I think. If I was Bismillah, basically means devil. The Lord of the Flies. Bye, guys.